here. It might be
Right.
So this is the story of craft fairs through the mechanism of naps.
Okay.
Because I don't know about you, but I can't make it through a show without a couple of good naps. And my first nap, the first nap that was remarkable, was a nap that I took at Rhinebeck back in about 1973. And you'll recall that Rhinebeck takes place at a county fairgrounds. And one of the interesting things about county fairgrounds is that because they mow them all the time, they're mowed back, that only certain kinds of plants will continue to grow because they escape the blades of the mower because they never grow very high. And one of these plants that is indigenous to county fairgrounds in the Northeast is a plant that is akin to chamomile. And it has a lovely fragrant odor, and it grows in thick patches all over the Rhinebeck fairgrounds. So one afternoon, you know, one of those really warm June afternoons, it was nap time. And I strolled out to the parking area where they had us line up our vans, and I was looking for my nap spot. And I found a particularly lush field, a little patch of that particular chamomile-like plant. And I said, well, that's good, but it's right in the middle of where everyone's going to drive. So I think I'll just lay down here and I'll roll under the back of this van. And I did. I rolled in there. I got into the shade, and it was perfect and right amount of space, and I snoozed off. And about 15 minutes later, I was suddenly warm. And I opened my eyes and looked up, and I was in bright sunshine, and the van had departed.
Didn't have your arms stretched out.
Now, see, I'm doing a Sarah Palin thing here. Now, my next nap was really interesting, and this took place at the Renaissance Fair here in Columbia, Maryland, that my brother Todd and I were doing a couple of years later. And of course, you know, at Renaissance fairs, you have to dress in period costumes, so we were in our, you know, prototypical Renaissance craftsman kind of like look at our booth, and I had this, you know, this big broad-brimmed hat and a leather apron, and we were trying to sell our jewelry to these idiots attending this. And you know, one of the things about the Renaissance fairs is that they do all the period foods and anything. Well, they had a mead booth. Now, I don't know if you ever had mead, but mead is honey wine, basically. And I said, well, I guess I better try this mead. And so I did. My brother was in the booth, as he normally is, kind of backing me up and everything like that. And so I came back with, I had a couple of little shots of this mead, and suddenly I was nap time. And my brother tells me the story that I didn't lay down to take a nap. I fell down. And he rolled me under the van, where I was for the next 4 or 5 hours. And okay, and let's see, the next nap is here at Baltimore. And you remember that the Baltimore show initially, for those of you who were there then, and I know Josh is one, you were probably one, the show initially took place at the arena, which is over here, which is where they have sports events and concerts and all that kind of stuff. And it was a very raw space. It was nothing like we're enjoying here. And it was really very poorly lit, and really the floors were really raw and everything like that. And I set up my booth, and it was one of those deals where it was the middle of winter, and you drove down here from Pennsylvania, and the weather was shitty, and you drove into town, and you set up your booth, and I was exhausted. And you know, the first couple of days it was wholesale. And I remember that it came up, and it was nap time, and there was nowhere to go. So I just crawled into this little space underneath one of my display cases that I had corrugated metal in the front of, and it was flat, and I could get in there okay. And I took a nap, and I was having in the middle of my nap, and I hear this bang, bang, bang on the top of the case, and this woman looks around the case, and I'm startled awake. She says, "I want to buy something." And then here's the next interesting nap, is that Evanston, oh, is that a warning?
That's the bell.
Oh. Oh, it's like, okay,
No,
well.
no, that's a phone call. That's what.
No, that's a phone call, that's different. And how much time do you actually have left? Okay, so the next nap is at Evanston in the hospital show in Chicago, and there, you know, it takes place on a tennis court, and they covered the tennis court, and they have these big, really heavy vinyl curtains that they use to drape off the various tennis courts, and they push them back, and they go and say, well, I found this perfect place to take a nap right behind one of these curtains, laying on top of the air conditioning system, right? So that was my normal nap spot. So when I crawled in there one day, and as I'm in the middle of my nap, and I hear this raucous conversation taking place on the other side of the curtain, and it's this couple, and they're having a fight about pricing their work, about how to price their work, and it's getting nasty. And so anyway, I complete my nap, and I get up, and I kind of stumble around, and then I purposefully walk over and walk into the booth, and I go, "Hey, how much is this?" And then my last little nap story is the nap that I had today, which I took over there in that alcove. Thank you very much.